Good evening. You are right in time for the Younib TV news at 9 with me, Elias Muchina. Among the top stories making headlines this evening and among our stories tonight, including the ongoing university strike, where the Education Cabinet Secretary has called on striking lecturers to return to work. But first thing first, our top stories.
And court orders are supposed to be obeyed. Otherwise, you will be in contempt. And if you are in contempt, disciplinary action might be taken against you. So
no parent in this country or elsewhere should send their children to school only to receive them in charred form.
We don't want incitement in Kasipul. We want state categorically that on 24th, all the people from Kasipul will go for nomination.
Welcome. Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba has called on striking university lecturers to return to work, insisting that the government has already taken action and released part of the funds into their accounts as agreed. Speaking in Mombasa during a conference of heads of education institutions in the country, Ogamba also warned that violating the order to return to work is against the direction of the court.
And court orders are supposed to be obeyed. Otherwise, you will be in contempt. And if you are in contempt, disciplinary action might be taken against you. So we are asking. We have done a lot in the sector. And we've agreed that all grievances can be discussed without us going on strike, which affects our learners. It's an issue that they raised recently when they came to visit the president, but it is an issue that, as we speak today, is part of the reforms that we'll be doing when we do the reforms to the acts, to the statutes, and the policy reforms. So it's not something that it is how do you put this? It is still work in progress.
We are trying to weed out any perceived ghost students or ghost schools in our system. So we are now working very hard to ensure that we have the right data of how many schools we have in Kenya, how many learners are in which school, how many learners are in which region, and we are optimistic by the end of this week, we should have very clean data on how many students we have, how many schools we have, and that will actually affect the distribution of teachers in our country. It's going to affect significantly because we shall get very clear picture of what is going on
what the underlying issues are that I understand include issues relating to there's a new principal who has come in who is doing a lot of reforms, and some of the people that are suffering from that reform may not be supportive of his action. So we'll get a true report of the underlying issues, and then we'll address them.
Cases seeking justice and compensation for 21 families who lost their children in the Hillside and the Russia school fire tragedy over a year ago have been filed in a Nyeri court by the Kenya Human Rights Commission. The cases filed in a collaboration with the Kenya Center for Quality Education and among the affected families also call on the court to pressure the government to take action against education officials who failed in their duty to ensure the safety of the youngsters.
That there was negligence and that justice needs to be served. We are convinced that someone should be held accountable because someone slept on their job. Because no parent in this country or elsewhere should send their children to school only to receive them in charred form.
It is a pity that we can assume that after such an act happened, then everything just goes on normal, like nobody cares. We put it at the doorstep of the government that they have a right, they have a responsibility to protect the rights.
Under the civil claim is where we'll be seeking the damages under the Fatal Accidents Act and the Law Reform Act for the lives that have been lost. And our suit under the civil claim mirrors the one that happened in the year 2001 in the fire that happened in Changuli Secondary.
On to other stories, the ODM party Kasipul County branch of Homa Bay has given assurance that the primary to be held there tomorrow will be without bias. The party's chairperson Kasipul branch Evans Ndege has assured the voters that all the procedures for the primary will be followed.
I want to urge all aspirants in Kasipul constituencies, let's embrace peace. We want peaceful nominations. At the end of the day, we'll only have one candidate. So let's embrace peace and let age not be a determinant in electing a leader in this country.
There is nobody in Kasipul or in Homa Bay County who is forcing the electorate to vote in Boyd Were. Ikifika on Wednesday, kila mtu atapata kupita.
And we don't want incitement in Kasipul. We want state categorically that on 24th, all the people from Kasipul will go for nomination. And we are appealing for everybody to have a peaceful nomination. And we have our candidate.
The Ethic and Anti-Corruption Commission has officially launched an investigation into the alleged recruitment of 500 doctors in Siaya County. According to the Commission's Western Region Director Abraham Kemboi, the county government advertised on 100 health sector jobs opening in 2023, but the County Public Service Board issued more than 500 letters.
We want to request those affected Kenyans to support the commission, come forward with those employment letters, and we should be having a head count in the course of this week. We will be calling upon all those employees, 500 of them, so that we pick from them all the documents and subject them to, scientific verification to get to know who was the originator of those employment letters. The commission will take appropriate action. Those ones who engineered this scam will be sanctioned. And we hope in the end, the amount of pain that they have caused to our brothers, our sisters, they will face commensurate consequences.
We are going for a short break. We'll be back with more stories. Don't touch that dial.
Ever the best. Hallelujah.
Welcome back. The Machakos County Assembly is anticipated to recommence its proceedings today aimed at the removal of Speaker Ann Kiusia from her position, subsequent to a High Court ruling that permitted the continuation of the process. The court, in its decision last week, annulled a temporary suspension that had hindered the motion in March, which arose after Speaker Kiusia sought to contest her intended removal. With this ruling established, the Assembly is set to introduce the initiative to displace her for the Speaker's role.
Political Parties Dispute Tribunal sitting in Nairobi recognizes Mheshimiwa Mbilindawa as a minority leader, and that automatically makes him a member of the House Business Committee. So we are asking the Speaker to, she keeps telling us we follow the law. We are asking her for once to follow the law so that we complete this impeachment process. Either way, we could go with it. We could go on with it successfully or unsuccessfully, but at least follow the law and allow the process to be completed. So that's what I had to say, and we are going to give you copies of this impeachment motion. We are happy because even before we take it to the floor of the House, we are being validated by other independent institutions. For example, one of the grounds that we raised for her impeachment is misuse of public funds, and she traveled on a foreign trip using public funds, but with for a private function and with non-members of the County Assembly to that function.
Fishing stakeholders in Kilifi County have protested against new fishing laws that they claim are oppressive, with the protesters, who include fishermongers and fishermen, say they have continued to be harassed while they are engaged in their business. The Secretary for Coastal Affairs in Malindi Town has called on the government to fully involve them in the drafting of fishing laws to ensure that the laws reflect their interests.
Usuli wetu wa uvuvi ulikuwa unahifadhi mazingira sana, lakini sasa uvuvi wa kileo ambao tunaita modern fishing technologies ndizo ni mbaya. Vifaa vya uvuvi vya kiasili kutoka jadi havina athari yoyote. Kwa hivyo serikali mfikirie swala hili. Masuala ya kusema nyavu za mkano hazifai, meli kule zinatumia, hata sisi tutatumia.
Tutakuwa tunapinga zile sheria mpya ambazo zimetengenezwa kwamba wavuvi wetu watoke baharini kwa sababu mitego yao ambao wanatumia ni mitego ya haramu. Sisi tumekataa kwamba mitego yetu si ya haramu. Mitego yetu ni ya halali.
Vile mmenipatia, nitapatia mawakili wangu kwa ofisini na my legal team kule Nairobi wapitie zile amendments, wazitengeneze kama amendments, alafu nitaziweka katika ile report, alafu nitawatumia zile amendments ili mjue ile vitu mnataka hata mimi ninataka.
Sote tumetegemea bahari. Single mothers, wavuvi nao, kuna mpaka vijana sahihi wamesoma mpaka wamefika form 4 na hakuna kazi. Wafanye kazi gani? Wakaibe. Sasa ikiwa mtatuwekea sheria, hii ni shamba ya Mwenyezi Mungu, si shamba ya binadamu yoyote.
Boda riders who are part of the Sabaki Rider Circle in Magdalene constituency held a peaceful demonstration to protest against their area MCA, Rose Baraka, due to negligence and mismanagement in the region. The boda operators asserted that the MCA was making empty promises.
Alituahidi kwamba sisi vijana wa Sabaki wa bodaboda atatuchukua tupeleke driving ya pikipiki. That is ikiwa tukiwa na shortage ya license kama bodaboda Sabaki. That is one. Second, kulikuwa na project alikuwa alituahidi kutufanyia ya viti, of which pia nayo alifeli kutufanyia. Ya tatu, kuna video ina trend kwa mitandao yenye inasema kwamba alituwekea milioni 1 kwa akaunti yetu ya bodaboda wa Sabaki kwa hii sako. Of which hiyo ni uongo, maana hatuna message yoyote ama kidhibitisho chochote ambacho kinaonyesha kwamba hiyo milioni iliwekwa. So leo tumeleta press seti kwamba tunamdai. No. Tumekuja tu tumwambie kwamba yale madai yenye aliyaweka ule wakati ayakanushe, kwa sababu watu tukishapita mitaani tuna watu wa vidole kwamba hawa ni wale vijana wenye wamepewa ile milioni na hakuna maendeleo yote paka saa hii. So like ni kama sisi tuna benefit from the MCA, lakini in the real sense hakuna kitu kaa hiyo.
And that brings us to the end of our news right here at Younib TV News at 9. My name is Elias Muchina. Have a lovely night. Goodbye.